and welcome to my YouTube channel. I can't believe that we already have been living in Sweden for 3 years. And I looked back at my other videos where I talked about 1 year living in Sweden and 2 years living in Sweden. And every time I was saying time is flying. And for this video, it's exactly the same. It really feels like we arrived yesterday. In today's video, I want to reflect a little bit about life in Sweden, what it has been in the past 3 years, how I felt at the beginning, how I feel now, and just in general, a life update from me, because I think it might be quite interesting to hear what life looks like after 3 years in Sweden. Make sure to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already to follow my journey for the next 3 years. You can obviously find me here on this YouTube channel, but you can also sign up for my newsletter. You will find a link down in the description below. I also share thoughts and insights in my newsletter. And if you sign up, you also receive a little ebook with 10 questions about if Sweden is the right fit for you. And in general, just leave a comment if you have any questions about life in Sweden, because it would be interesting to know what you want to know about Swedish life. So leave a comment down below and I can make more videos about your topics. Let's get started. Okay, let's talk quickly about work. If you have followed me, you know that about 6 months ago, I made a video about, the uncertainty if we can stay here in Sweden. And to be honest, the uncertainty is still here, unfortunately. It is okay right now. And, I try to live in the present as well, but we still don't know what happens. We still don't know if the job will be stable in the long term. And getting a new job is also a little bit complicated. It's first of all not that easy to get another job, and second, comes with another wave of uncertainty. There's normally a 6 months probation time you have to pass, and you can literally get laid off any time in those 6 months. These days it's not so much about your skills and who you are and how you are. It is really about the companies, if they are stable enough to keep all the employees. So everything is a little bit of an uncertainty. So I will obviously keep you updated how this is going. So how is life in Sweden in general? Obviously, if you ask me right now, it's really amazing. Summer just started here in Sweden and it is such a different feeling compared to winter. We are outside a lot. We are going to visit all the beaches. We discovered new beaches actually. The kids are really happy because they don't have to wear so many layers and it takes us less time to leave the house to go to kindergarten. We do a lot of barbecues. We have a camping trip planned, which we're looking forward to. And I mentioned in one of my previous videos that my older daughter is going to school very soon in August. So we are really excited about that as well. And about me, I have my own business here in Sweden. I don't talk much about this in my videos because it's not so much related to life in Sweden, I would say. I started like a digital product business. So I'm working on my laptop most of the time, but my clients or my customers are all over the world. It's not really related to Sweden, but of course I have a Swedish business, so I'm paying all the taxes here in Sweden. But I really enjoy working for myself and life is good at the moment. One thing I can tell you, if I think about leaving Sweden, I get really sad. I know that there are many people out there who don't like Sweden, but if you are confronted with maybe being forced to leave Sweden, then you really discover what you want in life. And for us, it is really to live in Sweden. I would be curious if there is a country you want to move to, if it is not Sweden, but also consider all the real circumstances, because obviously you could move to any nice sunny country in the world, but then, maybe there are no jobs or the crime rate is higher or whatever circumstances. So I would be really interested to know where realistically it is amazing for you to move to if it is not Sweden. Let me know in the comments down below. So before I move on to talk a little bit about the weather, I wanted to introduce you to today's sponsor, and that is Ultra Human Ring Air. It's this little ring I'm wearing here. You maybe have noticed it. Here we go. It's really tiny, but I'm absolutely obsessed. I already tracked a little bit my steps and my pulse, but this one also tracks my sleep, which is really amazing. And I love, love, love the app. It looks so cool and it comes with so many details. I love to see, you know, how I'm sleeping to improve my sleep, but also it motivates me a lot to go out and get more steps in or to work out. I love that everything is really explained within the app. It is just really, really great to kind of track my health and my well-being. And I just discovered actually recently that there is so much more in the app. You have meditation, workouts, and also a sleep program. So if you struggle with sleep, it's really good to listen to certain things. I do that actually in the evening. I don't really struggle to fall asleep. I'm exhausted most of the time at the end of the day, but I just love to listen to some meditation. It really switches off my brain immediately. Sometimes there are topics as well, like gratitude, and I like to end the day in a positive way. If you want to check it out yourself, I have a link in my description down below, and you get also a discount on the ring if you decide to buy it. I just know that I absolutely love it and I don't want to miss it anymore. So, and now we come to the weather, because in Sweden the weather is one of the most important things to talk about. It's probably one of the main reasons why people really hesitate to move to Sweden. In the winter, it's dark and cold, and it can change people's moods or affect people's moods. So how do I feel about the winters in Sweden? Because it has been my third year with a Swedish winter, and this year it definitely felt longer. April was quite a hard month, I thought. You know, you already expect spring to come, but it was really cold. It was still snowing in April. So I would say it was definitely my first kind of April where I had a harder time, but because it was so close and I knew Swedish spring or Swedish summer was coming, it was bearable. You know, sometimes you just have to go through a little tough time and you will come out okay afterwards. And now I even enjoy like the spring. It's actually already so warm that I would say it's the summer, and I enjoy it even more. And of course, normally I don't mind the winter so much at the end of the year in October or more like November, December, because it's Christmas time and it's beautiful here in Sweden. So I don't mind that time. I actually really, really like winter with snow at the end of the year. Then obviously January comes, February, March. January, February, you expect winter still to be here. So you kind of, yeah, I guess it's a bit of an attitude thing. It's not pretty, but it's like fine, you know, you can enjoy a bit more the cozy time. Or on the contrary, you go skiing, and we went last year in January skiing and it was brilliant. This year we didn't go, and I will talk about this a little bit later. That's also an option. Winter sports here in Sweden, if you pick it up, you have a much better time in winter. Then I want to talk also about people, you know, making friends here in Sweden, only in a few sentences because I made another entire video about my social life here in Sweden. But in general, I really can't complain. I made friends in those 3 years. Most of them, actually all of them, are non-Swedish, because the Swedish friends I have, I already knew before I moved to Sweden. But we do have like social events with Swedish people. We have dinners with them. We have barbecues with them. We just hang out a little bit after kindergarten. So that definitely exists. I wouldn't say they are my friends yet, but they are great neighbors and people I like to hang out with. When I watched my other videos about updates from Sweden, you know, after 1 year and after 2 years, I noticed I was talking about the healthcare system. And I thought also in this video, I give you a little bit of an update. Nothing much happened actually, but I can really say in those 3 years, we only really had one bad experience, and there is a video about it, of course, so you can check that out. I was a little bit upset about it, but all the other experiences we had were really, really positive. So that really leaves me with, in general, with an impression that the healthcare system here in Sweden is actually quite good. I I always got appointments, especially for the children, but even for myself quite quickly. And then when I needed a specialist, I was referred to the specialist, and it took maybe like a few weeks. I mean, it depends on like what urgency it was, but you know, I had to check something out and not. So I was obviously a little bit concerned if it could be cancer. And they took it seriously and they transferred me, and everything turned out well. But I really liked the care, and the timeline was also absolutely fine to get an appointment. So overall, I have been quite satisfied here, and obviously healthcare is free in Sweden as well. I know, included in the taxes. And maybe your favorite topic, but not my favorite topic, is the language. After 3 years, I should be fluent in Swedish, I hear you say, but I'm not fluent yet. I continue to learn Swedish on my own terms. I mentioned it in another video. I'm using story learning at the moment to learn Swedish online, and I really enjoy it. But I guess where I am at is also I need to talk a little bit more Swedish, and I know this is a very personal kind of barrier, that it's just harder for me to, you know, even order things in Swedish. I have done it a few times, but then people say something back in Swedish, which is amazing, and then I don't understand them or whatever, you know, and then I panic a little bit. So yeah, that is an interesting experience, but I'm very certain in the next 3 years, I will be fluent in Swedish if we stay in Sweden. And last but not least, I also wanted to talk about Sweden, the country in general, you know, experiencing the country. And I feel in 3 years, we haven't experienced as much as I would like, but there are a few reasons why. I mean, we have been to places, we were driving a few hours from Stockholm. We explored Stockholm and the areas around Stockholm quite a bit. And we continue to explore more areas with the camping trip coming up, for example. But I think there are 3 reasons why we haven't done as much as I wished. And the first reason is that we have really small kids. In the last, 2 years, my smallest one was, 0, and now she is 2. So it's really hard to actually travel all the time or travel longer distances with them, either in the car or even with a train. So we kind of have to limit it a little bit to make the trips pleasant rather than, stressful. And then another thing is the financial situation. We concentrate a lot on like savings at the moment because of the uncertain situation we are in for quite a while now. Plus, I'm building my business, so the income I have at the moment is not what I really want yet. I want to earn more. So we have to be a little bit careful with finances, and when you obviously travel, you have to pay for accommodation, for transportation, and all these kind of things. And the third reason is also time. We also have been in a very interesting situation because of like when you join a company, you can't really have holidays in the first year. Yes, you can have, and especially if you stay a long time in the business, then it's absolutely fine. But like it happened with my partner where his company went bankrupt, it wasn't like 5 years he stayed there. So he had to kind of pay back some of the holidays he took in the first year. And you can imagine now we are a little bit burned with that. So it happens again that he's in like his first year basically. And we have to be careful with taking holidays, which is a little bit crazy because Sweden has amazing holidays. You get 30 plus days of holidays. A lot of people take off 4 or 5 weeks during the summer, but we still haven't been able to do that. We had some time off, I think last year or the year before, a few weeks. But yeah, we are more like short-term holidayers at the moment where we take off like, maybe max a week where we do something. So yeah, we just have to be super careful with the time and the money at the moment, but hopefully this will turn out well, and then we can travel more in Sweden. So the conclusion, after 3 years living in Sweden, we are still very happy here in Sweden. We really want to stay in Sweden. We definitely want to explore many more years here in Sweden. There is a bit of uncertainty, but I believe in the process, and I believe in the universe that we can stay here in Sweden and experience Sweden. The winters are still okay. We are very aware that they are quite long, and we hope that we can do like more fun stuff in winter, like going skiing or snowboarding again, which obviously helps then to go through the winter. So yeah, and if you have any questions about our life in Sweden, let me know in the comments down below. I'm happy to answer them. Thanks for watching, and I hope I see you in my next video. Hej då!